But let's look at some more of the odds, winners and losers from free agency. The Boston Celtics, the reigning NBA champions, they were plus 300 on June 18th, and now they went up a little bit. They're plus 325. But, I mean, in terms of them free agency-wise, they kept all their guys back. They re-signed Derek White. They re-signed Luke Cornett, Jason Tatum, Xavier Tillman. I mean, this seems like a rinse and repeat type of team, and now you've got your kind of your core guys, your starting five for the next 4 to 5 years. I'm not really I don't think they're a loser. I think they just got everyone back, and they said, hey, let's run it back.
Yeah, they're staying, like when people show, like, is the arrow pointing up? Is it pointing down? Is it staying the same? And normally it's always bad to stay the same or be pointing down. But at this point, where is there to go? The arrow cannot point up when you have won a championship. But here's what I will say. Staying complacent, it is something that can hurt you. But with the new rules, there's not much the Boston Celtics could do. So here's the big deal. It's not like the Denver Nuggets last year who had Bruce Brown, and Bruce Brown was a real key contributor to that team and winning a championship. So losing Bruce Brown was a huge deal for them, right? That was that guy off the bench that sparked 15 minutes of just havoc scoring the basketball. The Celtics didn't have that this year. They didn't have that one guy that's going to be getting his championship ring when they play him and he comes to Boston. That didn't happen this year. And I was surprised that they didn't even lose a guy like Luke Cornett, who I thought could be linked to the Phoenix Suns here. So the Boston Celtics, I think they're still the best team. I don't know if they match up well with everyone correctly, like I explained to you with the New York Knicks. I think that they can absolutely beat them. But the Boston Celtics are they didn't need to do anything. And don't break it, don't try to fix what's not broken. And so I really like what the Boston Celtics just continue to bring everyone back. Dang, it doesn't matter because they already won a championship. When this run is over for the Boston Celtics, they're going to be in cap casualty HE double hockey sticks. That's how it's going to be for them because they're in the same situation, but it doesn't matter. They won a championship. That's the biggest deal that you're looking for. So, yeah, Boston Celtics kind of just staying pat.
Yeah, and I think as a Suns fan, that's what you want for the Phoenix Suns is to go all in. And if you experience 10 years of drought right after you win a title or a couple of titles, that's worth it because you won the first title. And you made a good point with the Nuggets because the Nuggets, right after they won that championship, they lost, Jeff Green, which you could say Jeff Green's not a great player, but on that roster was a pivotal guy.
Yes.
Bruce Brown was a huge loss. We saw that last season. But you wonder what the Nuggets are doing right now because, the Celtics, them keeping everybody after what happened, winning a championship, like you said, there could have been a couple of guys that said, you know what, I want to go get my bag. My value's hot right now. A Peyton Pritchard, a Luke Cornett could have said, you know what, I don't want to be on the bench. I want to go and kind of prove my worth and be a 20-point guy and be an all-star on a different team. But for the Denver Nuggets, you lose Bruce Brown last year. You lose KCP this year. Now you're going to ask Chris Brown to do more this year as a starter. This bench for the Denver Nuggets, and you paid your core guys, sure, Eric, Gordon, you paid Jamal Murray, Porter, Jokic, that's fine. But I'm really concerned, Ben, plus 850 right now. They were plus 700 a couple weeks ago. You lose KCP. This Nuggets team is starting to get more. They've got the third best odds right now. I'm not sure if I'm high in the Nuggets this year just based on they don't have a lot of depth. What are your thoughts on the Nuggets and what happened this offseason, 2 years out of winning the title?
Yeah, so let me ask you this. You know the college basketball landscape really well. And this guy, I know it now. Holmes from Dayton. They drafted him. The Phoenix Suns obviously had that. Can't remember his first name.
Deron Holmes, yeah.
I was going to say Darain Holmes. Deron Holmes of Dayton. I really like that pickup for them. It's a guy that can score the basketball at a pretty high clip as well as playing pretty well defensively. He's a nice type of player. Like, he's just rounded off an all-around good player who's not a freshman. He's been around the block a little bit, right? So I like that selection for the Denver Nuggets, but we were just talking about pointing up, staying the same, pointing down. The arrow is clearly pointing down for this team who, if someone has an injury, whether it's Jamal Murray, whether it's, God forbid, Nikola Jokic for a month, they will be struggling to win games. This is a team that's very top-heavy. The starting lineup is very good. The loss of KCP, who shot 40% from three last year, is a huge loss. And they want to get rid of sharpshooter. Well, they don't want to, but they got rid of sharpshooter KCP and brought in, or they want to bring in, Russell, whose last name is a nickname of Westbrick. That's who they want to bring in, a guy who can't shoot. When he gets the free throw line, you're crossing your fingers he makes them. I don't know what the Denver Nuggets are doing with bringing in. They want to bring in a Russell Westbrook. That doesn't make any sense. But the Denver Nuggets, listen, they won their championship. Who really cares after that? Nikola Jokic wants to go ride his horses. The Denver Nuggets, their arrow is clearly pointing down. And my horrible Serbian accent. Hopefully the Jokic brothers don't find me.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, hopefully they do not find you. But Deron Holmes, I kind of compare him. He'll probably have a type of season like Derek Lively where, kind of struggling throughout the year.
Yeah.
But when the playoffs happen, he kind of stood out. I think that's what a Deron Holmes will do. But speaking of the Mavericks and Derek Lively, a team that you're high on, I think we're both high on what they did in the offseason and just on how this team is structured. The Dallas Mavericks, plus 900 before free agency. Now their odds actually went up at plus 1,100, which if you're a favorite of the Mavericks, they've got the 7th best odds to win the NBA Finals. But you look in the NBA Finals, they needed that 3-point guy when Kyrie and Luka weren't hitting. They get that in Klay Thompson. And I think the Dallas Mavericks, they've gotten a lot better in the offseason. Would you agree? What do you think about the whole Klay Thompson?
I really love the Klay Thompson acquisition. I've been quoted saying there's a few places Klay Thompson could go and it could actually work out. I don't want to pay the guy $100 million to be kind of broken defensively. He's not the same guy. He's not awful, but he's not nearly the same guy he used to be. Still shoots the three ball at like a 40% clip. I love the acquisition of Klay Thompson on this Mavericks team because Luka Doncic, similar to LeBron James, works with shooters. That's why he worked with Kyrie Irving so well, similar to LeBron James. And what were the Mavericks missing? You mentioned it. Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat in that finals champion. So up. Exactly. And the reason why they beat the Thunder is because PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. couldn't miss from three. So those two guys, I know losing Derek Jones Jr. sucks to the Clippers, but you probably weren't going to start him after you bring in Klay Thompson now, a guy that actually shoots the three ball better. You're going to miss Derek Jones' defense, but still, I like what the Mavericks did. I don't know if I could really put them in the upper echelon of championship contenders. You just got to wait and see with Luka in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then lastly, we're going to talk about the Lakers. And then on the other side, we'll talk about the Phoenix Suns and stuff. But I saw Ryan Russillo talk about this on his podcast, and I thought it was a good point where the Lakers, they missed out on Klay Thompson, missed out on DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, maybe they could still get him. But when you look at the Lakers in the offseason, I don't think it's a negative that they didn't get any other players. They re-signed Christie, they re-signed LeBron James to that 2-year deal. You've got Connect, you've got some young guys coming in. But Ryan Russillo said it best. He said, hey, LeBron, you can't complain these next 2 years because your salary, having the 2 years, $52 million a year, you're $1 million, I think, over that second apron. You're not allowed to get any other players. So you can't complain this next 2 years that you didn't have enough talent on your roster because you took that 2-year upgrade where people thought the pay cut was coming. They thought Klay Thompson or some of these guys were going to come in. But you can't complain, LeBron, if you don't win a title these next 2 years or contend for one because you took that extra money instead of going out and getting some of those other players. Does that make sense?
Yeah, call it what it is. LeBron James, and I love LeBron. I am quoted saying he's the best basketball player of all time. I don't think there's much of an argument for it anymore, but we don't even really need to go there. LeBron James is not in the business of winning championships anymore. He's just not in the business. He doesn't seem like he really cares to. He could have went somewhere else. He wanted to play with his son. The Suns basically boosted his son's draft stock. LeBron James has firmly decided, I'm not really in the championship business, which kind of makes a little bit of sense because no one wanted to join LeBron in an attempt to try to win a championship. No one wanted to do it. It wasn't Klay Thompson. He picked the Mavericks over them, even though LeBron called him. DeMar DeRozan, not happening to the Lakers anymore. It's a little bit on LeBron and a little bit of, what the hell does Rob Pelinka actually do? Seriously, what does he do? Outside of landing LeBron, which landed in his lap, I'd be furious if I was a Lakers fan, which I'm not. I'm just loving their downfall. But their front office is highly, highly dysfunctional in Jeannie Buss, the poorest owner in the NBA, and Rob Pelinka, who's literally just known for being Kobe Bryant's agent. I don't know how he still has a job. He looks like, I don't know, he just looks confused whenever he's staring at a basketball. I'd be highly annoyed and concerned if I was a Laker fan. This team, zero chance to win a championship next year. They didn't get any better, and last year, not getting any better and losing to the Nuggets, who got worse from the year prior. It's a big deal for the Lakers losing or not adding anything to it.